Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're literally unlocking the historic heart of Istanbul. Look, if you've got your eye on the vibrant neighborhoods of Balat and Fener, you probably already know all about those iconic, colorful houses and the incredibly deep history there. But actually navigating those streets to get the absolute most out of your visit, well, that takes a little bit of matchmaking. So let's find your perfect Balat experience.
Now you might be wondering, can I just explore Balat alone? And hey, you absolutely can. But doing so usually means you're going to be walking right past locked doors, completely missing the centuries of layered history hiding right behind them. You'll definitely see the surface, but you'll kind of miss the soul. So here's our explainer itinerary for today. We're going to cover why take a guided tour, finding your perfect match, niche and custom options, what to expect, and finally, some expert tips for booking. Let's just dive right in. Section 1. Why take a guided tour? Okay, local guide and historian Elif Demir basically hits the nail on the head here. She says, the single biggest reason to take a guided walk here is access. Several churches in the Ahrida Synagogue open by appointment, not to walk-ins. And that's absolutely crucial. Without a guide who has already done the legwork to arrange your entry, you simply aren't going to see those stunning interiors that most independent visitors completely miss out on.
Section 2. Finding your perfect match. All right, first up, we've got the classic Fener and Balat walking tour. This is usually a solid 3-hour walk that beautifully weaves those famous colorful houses with the real stories of the Jewish, Greek Orthodox, and local communities. A great guide is going to map out the neighborhood's incredible rise, its historical fall, and its recent revival. For sure, this is hands down your best all-around introduction.
Now, for all the foodies out there, the Balat food tour essentially turns the whole neighborhood into a 3 to 4 hour tasting menu. Seriously, bring your stretchy pants for this one. You'll be diving into massive Turkish breakfasts, incredible street snacks like simit and borak, and authentic Turkish coffee in these amazing antique cafes. The best part? A guide actually sneaks you into the hidden spots to meet real locals, totally bypassing the obvious tourist traps.
Then we've got the Balayat photography tour. This is a highly focused 2 to 3 hour walk that practically guarantees you'll find the perfect light, the best angles, and yeah, those famous rainbow stairs. It'll save you hours of wandering around hunting for vantage points. Plus, your guide makes sure you're respectfully navigating what is, still a very active residential neighborhood.
Check out this expert tip from photographer Sam Whitfield. He advises, if photos are your priority, book the earliest photography slot. He points out that a local guide actually knows which lanes were freshly painted that exact month. It's all about beating those crowds and leaning on that up-to-the-minute local knowledge to capture the strongest shots possible.
Section 3. Niche and custom options.
So when you're figuring out your day, you're generally choosing between group and private tours. Group tours, they're fantastic for your budget and super sociable. Private tours are going to cost more per person, but the trade-off is they move entirely at your pace, they adapt to your family, and they let you dive way deeper into the exact history you actually care about most.
You might also spot these free walking tours advertised for the wider Fatih area. And look, while these tip-based walks are an okay, low-cost taster, a paid, small group walk delivers significantly more value. Free tours usually mean massive, crowded groups and extremely limited interior access. If you actually want to step inside these historic buildings, ponying up for a paid tour is really non-negotiable.
You can also dive into some really specific niches. Since Balat was historically Istanbul's main Jewish quarter, specialist Jewish heritage tours focus heavily on that history, and they arrange that all-important access to places like the Ahrida Synagogue. Alternatively, there are combined tours that blend Balat with a stroll along the Golden Horn, or maybe a visit to the nearby Chora mosaics. Those are brilliant, off-the-beaten-path choices if you want a fuller half-day outing away from the main hub of Sultanahmet.
Section 4. What to expect.
Okay, let's break down the logistics so you know exactly what your choices look like. A classic walking tour gives you a great history overview, runs about 3 hours, and typically costs around 25 to 40 euros for a group slot. Food and coffee tours run slightly longer, about 3 to 4 hours, and they're priced a bit higher because, well, they include all that amazing food. Photography walks sit comfortably right there in the mid-range for a 2 to 3 hour session. And private tours? They're totally flexible on time and offer the deepest exploration, which means they naturally command the highest price point per person.
But the crucial baseline number to keep in your head is that 25 to 40 euros. That's your starting point for a quality, classic group walk. Keep that financial anchor in mind when you start comparing operators online, so you'll instantly recognize a good deal when you see one.
Now, beyond the price tag, let's prepare for the reality on the ground. Expect a lot of gentle uphill walking on centuries-old cobblestones. Just consider it a free workout, but listen, comfortable, sturdy shoes are an absolute must. You'll also want to bring a scarf for entering any religious sites. And here's a big one. If your tour includes the Ahrida Synagogue, you absolutely have to bring your physical passport for security. Seriously, do not leave it in the hotel safe.
Section 5. Expert tips for booking.
All right, here is your pre-trip insider's checklist. First, definitely read the recent reviews and check the maximum group size so you don't end up feeling crowded out. Next, confirm the language and the exact route of the tour. Third, and this is super important, verify the interior visits. Make absolutely sure places like the Ahrida Synagogue are actually going to be entered, not just pointed at from across the street. And finally, make sure to lock in your spot in advance by comparing operators side by side on platforms like Get Your Guide, Viator, or GuruWalk.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. Which hidden door in Balat will your guide unlock for you? Because having a local expert isn't just about getting a list of historical facts, it's about gaining genuine access to the vibrant soul of these streets. Whether it's tasting incredible food, finding that perfect camera angle, or literally stepping through a locked synagogue door, a guide is the one who makes it happen. Thanks for exploring this explainer with us, and get ready to unlock Istanbul's historic heart.